Welcome to another Trackmania Turbo Trackmaster tutorial. This particular one is for event number 11, and it's now off the OO, or just O events. For whatever reason, this puts the events in terms of out of 99, like two digits, even though there's 200 events, which has 3 digits, so that's kind of confusing. But now that we're actually to events that are truly are 2 digits, that makes it a bit less confusing. So anyway, confusion aside, and I can barely even talk because I am so confused, there's not that much to actually talk about with this one. This one is actually the first event that features the next section along the lines, which has for the off-roady type vehicle, which in my opinion at least is the overall easiest one to drive. I think it's the easiest for me because it's the slowest, and it seems like in literally every video game, no matter what the type is, I'm better at driving the slower vehicles. So let's get into it, folks. Again, helicopter, release, blah blah blah, left air brake. But for the rest of it, it's not super hard. It's not super easy. It's not super hard. It's been easier, it's been harder for some, honestly. First one I would say is harder. Eighth one I would say was easier. Stay close to apex. You actually don't want to be necessarily right on it, because it's probably better to just go ahead and get straight for this turn. But that's just a practice, whatever you can do best. If you want to try to angle into that turn, whatever. If you want to try to just keep it where you're straight for the whole time, whatever. Just do whatever you feel fit there, because honestly, either way, it's not going to lose that much time, because it's all full throttle. This is really the only part where it gets relatively hard, but it's full throttle as well, honestly. There's no slowing down this track at all. Get as close to that side as possible, start turning. Avoid these, not too difficult. You actually don't even have to get all that close to that one to be able to get the best angle into this turn. And then once you do that, it's still full throttle. I could get a little bit closer there, and I could get a lot less close here. Those two go together. The closer you get to the first bit, the farther away you are from the second bit. And that's honestly the better way of going about it, is you want to try to get as close as possible to begin this turn than exiting it, so that way you can carry more momentum out. Less turning later in the turn is better for overall momentum. But nonetheless, full throttle is also full throttle. So, as long as you are full throttle for that whole bit and don't hit anything, you're at Trackmaster. You can get a better time by having it be more of a turn hard in, no turning hard out, instead of doing it how I did, which was kind of correct as I go, but as long as you're full throttle, no big deal. That's why I say this one's pretty easy overall. The eighth might be easier in terms of how quickly you can actually do it, but this is easier in terms of rhythm, because once you do it, it's full throttle, so it's not that hard beyond that point. And then just avoid the little, it's not even really chicane through there, it's just a section of turns. They're plenty full throttle, not that hard. And then just to line. This one's pretty easy. I like the car choice too. I'm better in the slower cars. And for this one, this is one of my overall ones. It's kind of not the best, not the worst, but then again, as I said, there's plenty of room for improvement in here too. But it's not even necessarily needed to actually improve all that much either. Full throttle equals success for number 11. Hope y'all enjoyed this one, learned something fun as usual, and as always, yeehaw.